So I'm back on Geoguessr, and I've been slacking a little bit. I was originally going to do a world map coming back. I'm not even turning the light on. Is that going to affect my camera? It's possible, but we're going to figure it out. I feel like doing USA. So we'll do explaining every round, no moving, but panning and zooming allowed. And I'll try to explain why everything is everywhere and hopefully get better at the US. I'm not amazing. I would say I'm decent, but I don't really know a lot of state-specific clues other than it says Arizona, first of all, and is the outline of Arizona. Some states have the outline in like some of their road numbers, but Arizona, I guess, also has Arizona in there. So, but we could have told by the state outline, and they're not always exact, but that's pretty close. So we're on the 64 north-south, and it looks like to the east, you can see the compass on the screen, just barely you can see the compass. We have the 180, and I'll be honest, there is a way to know about, like, I don't know, there is a way, like, to figure out the roads in the U.S. Sorry, it's late, I'm not gonna be able to speak well, but basically, sometimes it's weird, and it's tough to find them for me. This should be it, though. To the south, there's a road to the east. We have a little side road right here. I mean, that's what that is. So we should be right there. That should be the 5K. I'm not going to 5K every round, but it's a good 5K to start. We had road stuff that was helpful, but I'll hopefully improve you guys at the U.S. too, even though I'm not great. These are southern pines. It's the first thing you're going to notice. This is a very southern-looking tree. They're usually real long pines with the leaves closer to the top, but you get a real good length of trunk with the southern pines. Also, a house like this, a lot of brick. See that in the south too. But the U.S. is one of the toughest countries to region guess because it's so large, and a lot of it, especially in suburbia, looks very similar. But there are certain things that can help you out. So these southern pines are going to be the most helpful thing here. As for exactly where, it is tough to say. Don't really have any palm trees, and it doesn't really look like Florida to me either. Dirt is kind of reddish. I would basically use like this northern Georgia as a good hedge. I could see it being west. I could see it being north. I could see it being east. I don't really think it's too far south of here, but I could see southern Georgia for sure. But a hedge like this is generally going to be pretty good somewhere around Atlanta. So I will throw it there a lot when it's just kind of looks like this. And I can see it being a lot of different places. So it ends up being in South Carolina. South Carolina does have some state-specific tells. We couldn't see any of them here because they will have some signs that have a special like black marker on them. That can help you figure out that it is South Carolina. If I see any, I will point them out. Otherwise, I can't. And we get typical U.S. chevrons, double yellow middle line. It's very tough. It's just like agricultural. I have question marks. I could see it being Delaware. Delaware does look like this. And even knowing that some states use township more often, TWP, as opposed to something else could be helpful. I could also see it very easily being like where you typically find farmland, which is, the flyover states of the U.S. This doesn't really look like it's too far west. I would say it's like in this area, could be Illinois, could be Indiana, maybe even Ohio, and Delaware is also on my radar. But I think I'd probably just go Illinois as a hedge because I could see it being west, could see it being east, but don't think it's going to be too far. Ends up being Ohio. It was something we thought about, but really tough to narrow down, and we have more signs. Rutland, Holden, Fitchburg. I don't know what those are. We have an airport. Worcester Airport. We're going to be in Massachusetts. Worcester is pronounced Worcester. In Massachusetts, you do have red. You can barely see it, but it's red on the plate because they have red text on the license plate. And you can see that pretty clearly with this plate. They do have front plates. Front plates is another really good way to differentiate the U.S. if you're confused. Generally, in the north, you have front plates, and in the south, you do not have front plates. It's not always true. Cars do travel, and certain states do use front plates in the south, like Texas. I think Virginia is also front plates. And certain places in the north just don't have front plates, like Michigan, like Indiana. Kansas, I don't think does. Oklahoma does not. Arizona and New Mexico do not, but California does, Nevada does, Utah does. So the ones you need to know in the north that do not, Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and then it's mostly the southern states. But I think Virginia does. Anyway, we are in Massachusetts. This is a potentially easy 5K. I would say Paxton could be the name of the town, but we are going to be able to figure this out. And we know from the compass that Worcester Airport is to the south, which should be this. There's Holden. There's Paxton. And, I mean, we should be right around there, to be honest. Could line up the road. I don't really see what any of these buildings are, but it's an intersection. It looks exactly like this. I think that's the town hall, so we should be right there. That is another 5K. 2 5Ks in the first round. Not bad. Not bad. Although we've had good information both times. What is this? We're on what I would say is a really big lake. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think you'd see, like, the ocean in general would not just be next to grass like this. So I think it's a big lake. And this particular looking tree right here, this evergreen, but like this coloring, I really associate with this area. So I like Ohio, maybe Pennsylvania. I'm thinking this could be Lake Erie. It also could be Lake St. Clair. It could be Lake Michigan somewhere. It could be something smaller, like Lake Winnebago. But I do think it's a pretty sizable lake. Now, the only unfortunate thing is we don't have a car to see a front plate, because that could help us on whether it's Michigan or Pennsylvania as opposed to Ohio. Indiana doesn't use them either, but Wisconsin and Illinois both have front plates. But we don't have any plates to work with. We just have a general feeling, and that the lake, as I'm guessing it is to the east and the south. But really the east. So I'm liking potentially something in here. Could be something like that if it's Lake Erie. Which I'm going to say that it is. I'm going to say that it's Lake Erie. We're going to pick something like that. Don't know. Ends up not being too bad. Ends up being Lake Michigan. And it was right here, North Bay. Nothing was going to line up there for me. So that is what it is. We end up scoring about 20K on the first one. A couple of 5Ks in there helped our score. But not a bad start for us. As we appear to be, I would say, in the northeast. Architecture like this and just the background of the fall colors really reminds me of Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, potentially. I could see Pennsylvania. This particular landscape looks very Appalachian in nature. And we see Waterbury and Bridgeport. That is going to be Bridgeport, Connecticut, I believe. And these plates, blue top half, white bottom half, very similar ones in the Midwest. You have in like Illinois especially, Minnesota similar, Iowa can be similar. I think even some of the Dakotas maybe are similar. But yeah, we are going to be in Connecticut here, which definitely fits for the vibes. We are on a bridge. Should be a 5K-able round. This really shouldn't be too difficult. Bridgeport is a bigger city. Waterbury sounds pretty familiar. And we'll see what we can do. That is to the direct north. And what we can do also is line up the bridge by putting the compass to the direct north, looking down at the ground, and the road line will match up exactly. So we know we're looking for a bridge that it's not quite it. but it's close. So all we're looking for is a bridge that lines up with this road angle. And this looks pretty good. I don't know that that's it, though. But it certainly could be. So we're on the 8 north, 8 and the 34. So we'd look to find the 34 here. But I only see the 8. Where is the 34 west? That's Rubber Avenue. That's the 63. Prospect. No bridge there. It's a pretty significant bridge here. I guess it's not super big. What does that say? Naugatuck River, potentially. Which, that's what that is. Is it this ever? Is it Bristol Street? No, I think we got to be on a yellow road. I think we're on this. I think we're right there. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I'm missing. I'm a little bit concerned that I don't see the 34 anywhere. But to the northwest is Water Street. Sorry if you can hear the cat. He wants attention. Water Street. I am slightly concerned. I just don't know why I wouldn't be able to find the 34 west. Could we be like a lot closer than I thought? Definitely possible. Are we here? Bank Street. I don't want to not 5K this. I'm not the best at pinpointing. It's kind of a problem for me. But I don't know, I mean, it matched up fairly well. Bridgeport is to the west. Waterbury's right there. Where is Bridgeport? If Waterbury's to the north, Bridgeport's got to be... I'm sorry if you guys can see it. Bridgeport's down here. Okay, so we're actually not close. We're not close. We might be closer to like something like this, to be honest. We could actually be pretty far here, but we should be on this river somewhere. So where is the 34? All right, we spent all this time now. I should 5K it at this point. But is that to Waterbury or? Let me just find the 34 west. Bridgeport appears to be this way. Are we ever here? We're right here, I think. Water Street. Turnpike. We see that? Across the way, there is another bridge to our south. I don't think that's that, though. But it's a rail. I think, are we here? No, I don't think so. I think we're right there. Am I overthinking this? I don't think so. But this would be a devastating throw. That doesn't make sense though to me. To the north and the northwest, it turns. Guys, am I brain dead? Definitely could be. I'm just confused because okay, Water Street right to the west. I know that. Is it this? No, I don't think so. We don't have the turn to the west. Guys, what is my problem here? We have Water Street. That's why none of it made sense. There's another Water Street. How many fucking Water Streets can there be? There's the 34, by the way. Why didn't I just find that? Sorry. I'm just so stupid. It's like painful. But there being another Water Street, I'm sorry. I got impatient. No front plates. Again, looks fairly Appalachian with that landscape. No front plates. Does feel a bit more north though. Kind of liking Pennsylvania. Central Pennsylvania. Not really sure on this one. Let's go Altoona. As it being Western Pennsylvania. Not terrible. We'll take that. Ooh, this is Brazil. Now, it's going to be Hawaii probably. Whenever you have pavement that looks like this, it just reeks of orange. The only place it can really be is Hawaii. Mauna Loa Town Cinemas. It's another potential 5K-able round. It's definitely Hawaii. Just like, it's not a mistakable round once you really know it. Once you've seen Hawaii before, you know that this really can't be anywhere else in the U.S. Like maybe California, but we are in Mauna Loa, Hawaii. Yeah, I think California is like maybe the only other place it could look somewhat similar. I don't know where Mauna Loa is. Never heard of that. But it shouldn't be too tough to find, I don't think. Start with the, say, main island here. Mauna Loa. Nope. Could be there, but I'm just doing a preliminary, I would say like a scan. Don't see Mauna Loa on Kauai. I don't think this is likely to have too much coverage. Hello. It does say Mauna Loa. So that's got to be what that is. The post office is right there to our north. I would say we're right there on Mauna Loa Road. That's the 5K. Bang. 1 yard away. And we are 5K'ing like crazy. Let's go, dude. We do have front plates. And this looks kind of like Arizona to me. So, that says it's probably not Arizona or New Mexico. So the next highest likelihood place here, I would say, is California. But where? Now, the thing I'm a little bit concerned about is we can only see one front plate, but I think it is going to be California somewhere. Not exactly sure where on this one, to be honest. I'm trying to look at the trees. I don't really see any northern-looking trees here. So I think it's just Southern California. Pick a city. Let's go San Bernardino. Somewhere in this area, maybe. To being Lancaster. Lancaster, just north of LA and Palmdale. Yeah, I mean, that's just like, we had front plates. Looked like the southwest of the U.S. This looks like the very southeast. We have, like piney-looking trees. We have this palm tree, but also it looks kind of swampy in a way that I don't know what I can really say about other than like these trees. I've talked about this in a video before. With these like hanging, they're not leaves, but it's like hanging something. Like you can see it right here. I don't know if can you see my mouse? Yeah. So these hanging things. It's not quite a weeping willow, I don't believe. But it's a very, very southeastern tree. And so is this, obviously, with the palm. It's probably Florida or Florida adjacent. That's what I got for you. You know, in a way, it kind of reminds me of like the Tampa area, but I think it's Louisiana down through here. I think it's somewhere like maybe Panhandle, Tampa. It's rural. I'll go Romeo. Yeah, it ends up being in that area. It just, I can't say much other than it looks like it there. So that's what I got for you. But that's part of how you play the game, you know? I wish there were meta clues for every round where I could tell you, but just playing and knowing what things look like is a good way to play. We do have front plates. Maybe it's a Maryland plate. Got some red on there. Not really sure, but it's mostly white. That's a problem you run into sometimes playing the plate game. Is a lot of plates are just mostly white, and it can be really tough to tell. Front plate on that car. I could buy it being Maryland. I don't really know. This is a tough round. It's just suburban U.S. Let's go Frederick, I guess. I could see it being so far west of here. I could see Ohio for sure. Could for sure see Ohio. I don't know. We're going to send Maryland, though. Ends up being Alabama. So that's a tough round. Just outside of Tuscaloosa, home of the Crimson Tide. Tough round. Just looked like, you know, suburban USA. Didn't really have any plates to go off of. Didn't have really much of anything to go off of, really, other than the architecture. With the brick, I guess you'd be more likely to be in the South. With all of this brick, that's something to think about. But, yeah, I tried to trust front plate. Okay, so we're going to be in New York here. We have the old New York plates. And I'm seeing a lot of yellow ones, which, you know, it makes me feel really confident about New York here. But it looks a lot like Pennsylvania, to be honest. My first thought was just outside of the city, like in this range. Like could be, I thought Poughkeepsie even could be a really good option. Poughkeepsie was a thought. And this, I mean, you just see really like, honestly, like this area looking buildings. These in particular really strike me as like New Jersey, like northern New Jersey, Pennsylvania. It's tough here. I really don't know exactly where this is. It really, I could see it being one of these, like all the way upstate Western New York. I could see it being like one of these random ones. I'm going to keep it fairly close to New York. I wish I could open up the map to see elevation here. But yeah, I'm going to go Poughkeepsie. It's being a little bit north in the town of Hudson, New York. Makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, pretty rural. Looks like Argentina here. This is like very plainsy looking. My first thought on a round like this is always like Oklahoma, maybe even northern Texas, but Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, maybe even the Dakotas. You know, it's one of these states probably in this range. I'd be really surprised if this were east, and we'll have to see if it's further west, but it's probably around where I said. What can we base that off of? Can't see plates, really. No front plates on these two bad boys. I would say we could confidently rule out Texas, but Texas was going to be like a long shot anyway. I like Oklahoma. I like Kansas. Let's go Jetmore, Kansas. You get the state right. And it's just a good hedge, to be honest, too. All right. I'm thinking no front plates. No front plate on this car. No state would look like this, so I think it's a fake front plate state, or fake front plate. I like Arizona a lot. I like New Mexico. Mags Indoor Shooting Range. We got I-40. Now, I-40 runs east to west across this entire range. I think 40, yeah, is in like the Nashville area all the way through here. So I think New Mexico or Arizona on the I-40 is a really good shout here. See if we can find a town name. Because there's a lot of pinpointable things here. Chuck Wagon Cafe, Family Dollar. Let's see if we can get a plate. Yellow, and this one's like greenish. This is New Mexico. For sure. For sure, New Mexico. There's like a little circular, maybe state-specific sign. Could be New Mexico. Oh, it says NM 333, which was the old U.S. Route 66. Route 66 is pretty famous. I'm sure you guys know it, but it doesn't actually exist anymore. So the 333 and the 40. That's got to be, say, fairly findable. Let's see here. It's a 93. Now, this is the problem, is I don't know how we would find 333 at all. So this is where it becomes an issue, because there's a 64. There, it just jumps to 180, 89. I'm sure there's a way they do it. 244, 419, 394. But I don't know how they do it. So the way we might be able to make this easier on us is try to line up the road. It's not going to be that helpful for me, though. Is there anything that can help us? Oh, the city of Moriarty, New Mexico. Moriarty, Howard Cavazos Boulevard, New Mexico 41. So that's what we might want to look for. Okay. Let's figure out the 5K on this. Where did I come up with I-40? Where's that from? I definitely saw a sign for it, surely. There's no way I saw that. Has to be... There's no way I made it up. Did I see a speed limit sign? Oh, there it is. I'm like, okay. 40 East. I think we're on I-40. I think that's what this is. Through the city of Moriarty. Right? So if we just go... No way I was looking at Arizona that time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God. It's 2 in the morning. Please. There's a 337. I apologize. There's Moriarty. Oh, don't even look at me. Don't look at me. Yeah. I mean, there's not much I can say to you guys. We all saw what happened. And if you didn't, I've pointed it out now, so you know. All right. An M333. Where is that? I'm looking in Moriarty. I see the sign. City of Moriarty. It's to our west. Okay, did I forget to look at the name of the sign? It says the Boulevard. Guys, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. We're here. This is US Route 66. It doesn't exist anymore. And we're on the 41. We're on this big intersection, Shirley. Unique Auto Sales is to our north. I apologize for basically everything that's just happened there. That's the 5K. It's late. You have to forgive me. You have to forgive me. Okay, looks like the Southwest again. That landscape is just super distinct. Now, doesn't look quite so red. So I'm thinking like Utah right away. You can see Colorado. I'm thinking Utah. It's just a good hedge here either way. And that's just, I don't really know how to explain my guess on Utah. No front plate on this car, but he's hitching a trailer or hitching a thing. So I don't know how far he's traveled. But I like the same region. but it doesn't look quite the same. I think it could be northern Arizona. I think it could be northern New Mexico. I might actually like a lot too, or Utah for sure. I think I'm just going to send to Utah. There's not a whole lot here. I could look for something that lines up. It's like 2 bridges type deal, or split highway going east curves to the south. I could look for something like that. Shit, I mean, that's definitely not it, but where I'm going to guess. Texas. Well, that explains why it didn't really quite look like Arizona, New Mexico. I just went the wrong way. Never considered Texas. Never considered Texas. Why is that Texas? It's a weird area, Texas. I maybe could have considered it as an option. I really wouldn't have gone there. I think it's a low percentage play. I didn't really see any Texas like meta that would have made me go there either. There are little emblems on these signs. I don't really know what they are. We have no front plate that I can tell on that car. These trees look a little bit more northern to me, but I'm not convinced. Not convinced. Don't really know what that would be. Can't really read what that would say. A lot of like weird looking brick. I would hedge Kentucky. I really don't know what this is. I'll go Louisville. Ends up being Illinois. No, Indiana. On the border of Illinois. Dyer, Indiana. It makes sense. I thought it looked a little bit more north, but no front plate. So I felt more comfortable going Kentucky as a hedge as opposed to Michigan. Because it can't be north of Michigan. That's Canada. It's not a Canada map. All right. Fortunato's Bakery, 302 area code. There are a lot of area codes in the U.S. I say it's a very daunting task to learn all of them. But if you do know them, it would obviously be extremely helpful. The plate looks yellowish. Could fit for, and no front plates either, so could fit for like Mississippi. Could be Mississippi here. Louisiana kind of has yellowy ones too. Delaware. Could be Delaware has like brown ones, which could be what these are. I could buy this being like brown. Yeah, okay, I could be down for Delaware here. And we got a boat, so you figure we are adjacent to at least a lake. And Delaware is right on more than a lake. So Delaware does make a lot of sense here. At the Delaware Bay, got Maryland in here as well. Some prime boating action. And we're on a northeast road. Don't have a town name or anything, but yeah, I mean, Delaware makes sense. I guess I didn't know that they don't have front plates. Something to think about. Let's go with pick a city. I like something on the bay here. Let's go Marshtown. Town looks a little bit too small for me. Could it be Jimtown? It's like a sizable city. Dagsboro? I could like a Dagsboro. But it's probably not it, so we'll just send there anyway. Ends up being Milford. Road was more north-south than initially expected. Okay. Howard Wilson Road. It's not going to be findable. Immediately looks, I was going to say closer to the south, but it's tough to get a read on this. It's a tough round. This looks like middle U.S. I really don't know. These trees almost feel a bit more north. just because they're skinnier, but they're really leafy. Like you can tell the leaves fall off, which I guess they do across most of the U.S. It really could be anywhere on this one. I mean, it's never going to be like Washington, or unlikely to be. I think I would just go like, I don't know if it's Ohio, but I'm going to send Ohio. Ends up being Maryland on the border of Delaware, not far from where we just were, but that's a good example of how those two last locations do not even look similar at all. All right, we got wide double yellow lines. You see those in the south in Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas sometimes, but those are the big ones. We got front plates. I like Texas for that reason. Oh, Texas on the sign here, Texas State outline. Texas State outline, official vehicle inspection station, but they've got those all over here in Texas. 972 area code, I know is not Houston. I could buy it being northeast. I could buy it being there. Now I don't know my area codes in Texas, other than like, I know Houston because I live here. Louisiana Drive. I think 972. I know there's a 9 up here. It could be 972. Can we find a 455? I'm not going to look for this for very long because it's tough, but I do like the idea of looking around somewhere where I feel, comfortable about it being an answer. I don't think we're looking for a needle in a haystack here. 338 is the closest we've seen so far. Now, I don't know the DFW area codes. I do not. So they could be 972, and I just don't know it. But again, it's tough to memorize area codes, and I've never really looked into it. But it'd be good to just know a few. Could I see this being west? Not really is the thing, but 385. I don't really see it being west. 281. I think I'm just going to go up here somewhere. I don't see it, but that's okay. We'll go Kilgore. Ends up being DFW area. The town of Salina. Oh. Interesting. I never saw there's a 455. Small road. But yeah, it's a DFW area code. Okay. I think maybe that area is like 906 or something like that. Okay, we have a plate here. It looks like the Connecticut one. It's a little bit different. I think this is Illinois. And we have some red on it, which Illinois has a little bit of red too. I think it's Illinois off the rip. Welcome to Waisika. Could be an Illinois plate in Wisconsin. Kind of sounds like a Wisconsin town name. Nope, it is Watseka, Illinois. Watseka, Illinois, so it is Illinois. The plate read was right. No plate on the Tesla. That I don't think is an Illinois plate. That one is. This one is maybe Wisconsin or other. That one's Illinois. Watseka. I don't know how to pronounce it. Usually I'm pretty good, but don't know how you would say that. This one could be a bit of a tough find. 815 area code. This is another one I'm not going to scan for too long. I can tell you, to me, I don't really get a Chicago vibe to it. But, I mean, it could be one of these, like, random little towns. I don't want to completely throw it out. Let's look. We'll do a quick, like, at this, zooming in. I'm trying to say, I can't even think of words right now. Sorry about that. We're just over that sentence. We're going to zoom in this much. I was going to say distance, but that's not right. What am I looking for? Watseka? Kind of forgot. I'm not going to 5K this. And I'm really not going to look too long for it. And there's also, I want you guys to know, high probability that I see it and don't see it at the same time, if you know what I mean. Watsika. I keep looking for M names, but it's a W. But there's so many M's. So many M's. Oh my goodness, we found it. We found it. Now, I know we're spending plenty of time on each of these rounds, but that's all right. Who's counting? 3rd Street is to our east. That's a postal service. Okay, bang, 5K. Excellent. Next map. No, I want the same map, actually. All right, last one. How long have I been going? Oh, 40 minutes. That's a good amount of time. Looks like the South. We got these southern-looking pines that we talked about. Not quite the same, but these ones are kind of more of what we talked about. State sale. Okay, so that's not state-specific. A state sale is just like an estate sale. It's like a garage sale, you might know it as. These signs with the Pentagon, you kind of see all over, unfortunately. Like, I know Texas uses them. I know New Jersey uses them. I think Tennessee might as well. I don't like Tennessee for this one. Slightly wider road lines. Maybe I go Arkansas. I think Arkansas uses them too. I got to figure out all the states that use the Pentagons. I think I like Arkansas. Click middle. Alabama. Alabama uses them. Yep, definitely. I guess I knew that. Okay, not bad though. Thought New Zealand right away. All right. Let's be serious. Let's be serious here. What do we have? Waste management is not helpful. This tree is very interesting. Like with the pine needles. Very interesting round. Ooh, we have a round here. And we're on the water. We got like a little bit of a palm tree, but is it really anything to write home about? This is a very interesting round. This is going to be, I keep saying that. It's going to be somewhere where you might be surprised. And I might be surprised. I can't figure it out yet. I like, oh man, this is tough. So it's obviously somewhat coastal, right? I mean, you can tell that for a lot of reasons. One, there's water, but this isn't the ocean. But I could see the ocean being on the other side of this body of water. Palm trees, but also like flooding, obviously, with these on stilts. This plate, I don't know what's going on with it. It's white. It's got a thing there. It doesn't quite look like the Florida plate. And like this tree doesn't fit for Florida. We can't see other plates other than that this one doesn't have a front plate. However, it's a weird car. We got some decals on it. I don't really know what to make of it. This is a round. I mean, it's a dead end. I like this round. It's a tough one though. No front plates. I think it's something like this. I think it's like North Carolina on the beach or something close. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would do something like that. I could see like anywhere in this range. It's a fun round. Really unique architecture. Like I considered somewhere in this range as well, like Gulf, but I don't know. I don't think the trees are quite right. So we're gonna go North Carolina. We got water to our south. I think it definitely could be something like this. That'd be a crazy 5K. All right, it's Ocean City, Maryland. That makes sense. And as I said, yes, we do have the ocean on the other side of the body of water. It's just, I can't describe why I knew that. It just feels like it. It's a decent guess. It's not the right state, but it's a decent guess. Trees were really helpful. Easy, once again, look like southern pines, brick architecture. We got some shutters going on. Whistling Swan Road, SR. Maybe. We have a plate. Can't really see too much with the plate. Quality's not great here. I would do like the North Georgia hedge. I don't really know about this one. Ends up being more north, just outside Richmond, Virginia. Tough round. Not really a whole lot to go off of. This immediately strikes me as like Kentucky. It looks Appalachian and Midwest at the same time in a way. So that Kentucky just automatically becomes a good hedge. It's like the great separator between the Appalachian and the Midwest. So I like it. I definitely like it. It's a little bit hilly, which Kentucky is. And it might not be Kentucky. Like, real good chance that it's not. I don't know. This could be state specific, this particular sign. I don't know it. It's like white and green. Maybe I'll try and remember that in case I see it again. I like Kentucky here. It's a good hedge. I don't think we're going to be too far. I would say there's a better than not chance that the state it's actually in, if it's not Kentucky, touches Kentucky. And I like Missouri for that. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee. Like, we got a good chance with that too. Ends up being Alabama. I mean, that is at the very, very tail end of where Appalachia is, but we were just on the wrong side of it. Makes sense, though. Ooh. Okay. A lake to our south. Wabana. They got maybe soccer going on here. To get them boys a helmet, play some football. She's walking with a suitcase. Trees look a bit more northern for sure. Water to the south. It's similar to the round we had earlier. That was Milwaukee, right? I mean, it could be again. It definitely could be again. Let's go up here. Let's go, go there. Ends up being Maryland. That's a tough Maryland, admittedly. We'll do one more after that. It was a bad game. But tough group of rounds are really testing our knowledge of the East Coast. All right, we got the 41 and the state. I think that's Alabama. It looks like what Alabama looks like. It's a little bit squished, though. But that's Alabama. And you even have like the little like carving out of Mobile. We should be in Alabama. I mean, we got some southern looking pines, but it's fall, so it's a little bit tougher to gauge that. But yeah, southern pines. Tough to get a read on that plate. There's some green to it, which Alabama is like somewhat greenish on some of their plates at least. Tennessee did too, but they've changed. But I'm probably still a lot of them out there. Don't really know on this one. I would go northern Alabama. I like the idea of like Huntsville area. Let's go Brownsboro, or let's go Doug Hill Road. Ends up being real south. Oh, it's on the border of Florida. Man, looking pretty cold there. Okay, highway guesser. Looks like the Connecticut plate we talked about earlier, and Illinois, but there's not as much blue. So I'm thinking like Iowa and Minnesota. This landscape looks like it looks Appalachian. So I don't know if I like that. I wish we could see that sign. It's been placed just out of our view. ISD, it's a school district thing. Exit 129. They've on purpose omitted information. Is this ever just Connecticut? I mean, it just looks Appalachian to me. And not that's how they say it there. I'd love to say Appalachian for you, but they say Appalachian State, so I gotta go with that. Also, cars do travel. Important to note. It's a tough round. I'm actually just gonna guess off of I'm gonna guess off vibes as opposed to any meta. Maybe I guess it could be. I thought maybe like green New Hampshire, but that's not. Could be New York plates, maybe, but I think we'd see some yellow. And we'd see yellow somewhere, so I don't think it's New York. Don't think it's Massachusetts. Maine? I don't really know Maine plates. I think they're pretty white. The plates make me want to go Minnesota. The landscape, I don't love Minnesota at all. That tree makes me think like Ohio. I'm going to go Ohio. I don't know. Minnesota. I just didn't think it looked like that. That's. I won't apologize for that. It looked Appalachian, and I'm willing to go down with the ship at that cost. Or like, when I say Appalachian, I mean like Appalachian or Appalachian adjacent. So up into New York, still, it's not maybe Appalachian, but it's adjacent. This is an interesting one. So based on the landscape, it's very open. We know it's west, pretty much. When it looks like this, conservatively, you can cut off everything east of this line. Everything east of I-35, cut it off. For sure. It's never east of there. Never with a landscape like this. But it's kind of red. A little bit weird. I think you more likely see something like that. Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah especially. I would go Utah here. And I think it could for sure be Wyoming or Idaho or Montana or Colorado. Maybe northern Arizona, New Mexico. The landscape just feels... Now, if I weren't hedging here, which I guess I don't have to, or I could change it, I would probably go like Wyoming, to be honest. Cover some Colorado, Utah, and Montana. When I look out here, I kind of think like this area. Wyoming seems good to me. Yeah, ends up being Wyoming. I think we changed from Utah. Okay. It's not going to be a great score here either way. We're only at 8-6, 8-9. And I don't know what this is. Looks like Texas pavement. Pretty like grainy looking like this. And I mean, I could see this being Texas, like up here somewhere maybe. This house is a little weird, I guess, but 815 area code. 815. I don't know 815. Is 815? Did we have that earlier? No, that was like 9 something. I am going to go Texas on account of the pavement. I'm going to go up in here. Illinois. That looks like pretty. That looks pretty Texas pavement-y to be Illinois. However, the rest of everything doesn't look very Texas. So I thought it was just weird north. Trusted the pavement. And I can't even explain to you guys Texas pavement if you're not a big Geoguessr player. But it's a pretty reliable meta. Even though you might think pavement looks the same everywhere. It's a pretty reliable meta. I can't end on these, though. These look like Minnesota plates. We just saw them. We just made a mistake. But this looks way more like Minnesota to me. Or even Iowa or something like that. This I definitely buy is in this region. The other round, man, you were killing me with that. Ends up being Iowa. We said that was an option. I can't end on that. I need to be closer to 20K. I know my mind has deteriorated quite a bit during this. Stony Point. Oh, man, that sounds so familiar. Payne Memorial. Not going to know that. Stony Point sounds familiar. Could be nothing. Could be everything. Sheriff, white plate. 804 area code. Plate is not very descriptive. Looks like Bible Belt. Like it looks like a Baptist church or Methodist church. It says it right there. I would go like Tennessee. Yeah, Virginia. Makes sense. Okay. John Ross Road. Oh. Giants legend, John Ross. Oh, we got antenna. Whoa. Really rare to see antenna in the U.S. No front plates on at least this one. This one I think does have one. This one has one. Blue on it. Man, I don't know what that would be. Yeah, I don't really know on this one. I might just go like Virginia again, but I don't know what this would be. Ends up just being, we had a front plate in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I had to go off the front plate thing. There were a lot of them. No front plates here. Can't quite make out the area code, but should be somewhere in the south. My voice is going on me. South. It's never a bad time to break out the Georgia hedge. It's a great hedge. It really is. It's a great hedge. Let's go Georgia. Ends up being Louisiana. Tough to get that. This looks like pretty plainsy. This is maybe Laurel. Tough to say. Front plate there. Kind of looks like it could be Texas, but a little bit too hilly. Could be Nebraska. I think I would go northwest Nebraska with the hill. Front plate. I could buy it. Ends up being near Billings, Montana. And the last one. You guys are going to kill me, but it feels Appalachian adjacent. Very hilly. Just feels like it's in that area. Ooh, northern looking evergreen tree that I talked about. No front plate on the Jeep. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. It's being West Virginia. Beckley. 13K. Let me do one quick run. No 5Ks unless it's overwhelmingly obvious. Ohio 164. That is the Ohio state outline, of course. Can't see what that says. But it is for sure Ohio. Not really sure. Not really sure. Is this a 5K-able round with enough time? Probably is, because I would just find the 164. if I just looked for it long enough. But I'm not going to do that here. Kind of felt like I wanted to guess around Akron. Can I just quickly find the 164? No, we're going to go at around Akron. Ends up being pretty close. Ends up being Columbiana. Is that what I said? Yeah, I think so. I don't remember seeing a sign for that. Okay. Pretty rural. Got some southern pines. It's about as rural as it gets here. Love a good Georgia hedge. So I might go South Carolina this time. Nope. Looks like Alabama. Northwest of Mobile. Deer Park. Looks like California. These types of palm trees. Really tall with like the little poof at the top. Pretty white plates. Maybe some red at the top. California. Valley, I care. We should be in the valley somewhere. Ridge to our west. Seems pretty Southern California to me. Brawley, I would say, is the name of the town. Front plate, so we can rule out some other things. But I would say we are in Brawley, California. California with a ridge to our west. Which could be, I don't know, could be anything in here. This is something to the west. Is Brawley in here? Would have been an awesome find. Just to quickly find Brawley. Would have loved that. Doesn't really seem like it's this far out east. Valley Center. I don't think we're this far south. But what are you going to do? I like the Riverside area. I feel like this, if there's a ridge to the west, that kind of matches up. But it could definitely be something like in here. Now, when they say valley, I don't know the full region that that's kind of referring to, because there's a big valley in here. But there's also there are valleys in here as well. So I'm really not sure. Maybe you guys can tell me. But I know people talk about the Valley Girl accent. But I just associate it with Southern California. I don't know exactly where. I'm going to send there. It's being there it is. Brawley. This was to our west, I guess. Way more east than I thought. This is going to be a much better score. Let's see. Front plate probably has some red on it. Dollar General. I see those in the south. Dixie Highway 7800. Big water tower. 859 area code. I do not know. I don't see a lot of front plates on these cars. What do I think this is? I think it's a non-front plate state. I think Tennessee is a pretty good guess here. Outside Knoxville. Ends up being Kentucky. Florence, Kentucky. Not awful. And we need a 5K to still be shy of 20K. But it's going to be a good score. No front plate. Front plate, but it's weird. Looks like Pittsburgh to me. Just does. Bus stop. Maybe not like Pittsburgh, but it is actually Pittsburgh. It says Pittsburgh. That's a pretty good NMPZ get, I would say. Can I 5K this? I mean, Geyer and Shadeland with a bridge to our north. I think this is 5Kable. Now, the bridge is like not significant, and I'm not sure if it goes over water even. And I'm not sure how many bridges there are. I'm not sure if we're like... I mean, we seem like we are in the city. So, what am I looking for? I have Geyer and Shadeland. And the bridge is to our just straight north. We are on a pretty north-south road. Maybe slightly northwest. And the bridge curves more northwest. See if we can find something like that. I kind of want to 5K this now. Something like this seems like it would fit. But I don't think it's not that big of a bridge. So we got to be aware of that. It's slightly northwest. Something like this I like a lot. Damn, I was really hoping that would be it. Because something like that makes sense to me. Not that. I really think we are like in Pittsburgh. When I say that, I mean like obviously, but I mean like in the actual city, and not like a close by city, because it says Pittsburgh on it, and it seems like we're into stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm misreading it. But I like the idea that we're somewhere in here. But it could be something like that, but that's not long enough, nearly. Nothing there. And there's a bus stop, too. The bus stop makes me think we're in the city. Am I going to have to give up on this? I really don't want to. Some of this stuff, like this looks pretty good. It's not that, though. And it curves slightly northwest. This does not line up. And is it even going to be like a notable bridge on the map? Is it even a bridge? I don't know that it goes over water. It's to northeast. Where are the northwest bridges? Like, that's one. But that can't be what it is. This is northwest. So is this. Overlook waterfront. Shadeland and Geyer. Damn, I'm getting tired. Slightly northwest. Where are you? It's not it. Could be something like this. I wish we were next to a numbered something. Like, instead of just like names for roads, I wish it was like third. I think that would make it slightly easier to find. I've checked a lot of bridges, guys. Maybe not the right ones. I was really hoping this would be it. I just don't know that we're passing over a river, unfortunately. I really don't know that this is the Ohio River. It could just be a random bridge over a really small river like this. That's a huge concern. It's probably just an extension of the road, which is super frustrating. How do we not have the main name of the... Is it Shadeland Avenue, or is it Geyer? Pretty north-south. Okay, I'm making like one last potential concerted effort to find this. North south. Where's like the north south type of grid? Shadeland or Geyer. I mean, this stuff looks okay. If I'm gonna just being so close and not getting it would be agony. But I feel like I checked a lot of bridges, and I just can't find it. Gosh, guys. I know I haven't really gone too far out of Pittsburgh, but I mean, like, what do I have to work with? It's the city of Pittsburgh. It says it on it. Is it bait? No, it looks like Pittsburgh. Everything lines up. I just can't find. I can't find the road, man. Shadeland, Geyer, please. Please. No. I'm not sure. All right. Sorry to waste your time. There it is. There's Geyer. There's Shadeland. As I thought, it was a bridge over nothing. Wasn't even water. Right there. That's tough. 19.5. That's what we're going to finish on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Oh, boy.